since this campaign, but definitely not going to be the last. I'm going to be talking about I'll come to Omaha too. I want to begin by thanking some of the folks who are here who are doing an outstanding job on behalf of not only this region but the entire state of Iowa. I want to thank Sean Shore for his outstanding work. Give him another round of applause, please. State Representative. I want to thank Mike Ronstall, who is not only doing outstanding work leading the Iowa Senate, but I realize that he and I have a lot in common because we both married up. His wife Connor's here as well. Give it up for Mike Ronstall. We've got former Iowa House Leader Nick Myers. Give it up for him. Thank Iowa Western for hosting us in this wonderful facility. All the Iowa Western folks, give yourselves a round of applause. And one of the things that I've been thrilled about during the course of this campaign is all the volunteers that we've been attracting who are helping us to organize every time we come to visit this particular area. So all the Obama volunteers who helped to organize this today, can you please raise your hands? And can everybody look at all these folks back here? Thank you. Thank you guys. It means a lot. So, I was thinking the other day about my first political race. These days I'm getting a lot of attention, and when you're on the presidential campaign, sometimes you're so busy that you have a tendency to forget what got you into politics. And I was reflecting on my first race. I had come to Chicago. I'm not a native Chicagoan. I had come to Chicago to work as a community organizer for a group of churches on the south side of Chicago that were trying to deal with the devastation of steel plants that had closed in the region. Thousands of people had been laid off. As a consequence, people were losing their homes. There were foreclosure signs everywhere. Commercial strips had deteriorated. This is back in the early 80s. And so these churches had decided that they wanted to see what they could do to form an organization to stabilize the community. And they didn't have a lot of money, so they hired me. I got paid $10,000 a year plus $2,000 for car expenses. And I drove out to Chicago, didn't know anybody, and I started working with these churches and the lay leaders there. And we set up job training programs for the unemployed and after-school programs for youth. And it was the best education that I ever had because it taught me that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when they're given the opportunity. I realized after doing that for about 3 years that I needed to go back to school and learn a little more. I went to law school, came back, went on a registration drive, started practicing civil rights law. I started teaching at the University of Chicago Law School where I taught constitutional law for 10 years. And at some point, a seat in the Illinois Senate opened up, the seat where I live. And some people who knew of my activism in the community asked me if I'd be interested in running. And so I did what every wise man does when confronted with such a decision. I prayed on it, and I asked my wife. Smart man, she said. And after consulting those two higher powers, I did what every first-time candidate does, which is to talk to anybody who will listen to me. You guys have been through this. You go to bake sales and PTA meetings and barber shops and beauty shops. If there are two guys standing on a corner, you'll pull up and start handing them literature. And everywhere I went, I'd always get two questions. First question, where did you get this funny name Barack Obama? Although people would mispronounce it. They would call me Alabama, or they would call me Yo Mama, and I'd have to explain, no, the name's Obama. My father was from Kenya, from Africa, which is where I got the name from. My mother was from Kansas, which is where I got my accent from. But the second question was a little tougher, and it bears on today, because people would ask me, you seem like a nice young man. You've got a wonderful education, you teach at a fine institution, you've got a terrific career as an attorney, beautiful family, church-going man. Why would you want to go into anything dirty and nasty like politics? Why would you want to go into politics? And the question's understandable because at some level, all of us have come to feel cynical about the political process, even those of us who are involved in it. It feels as if politics is a business and not a mission. As if power is always trumping principle, especially in Washington. We have an impression that a lot of our leaders will say anything to get elected, but that there's not much follow-through afterwards. And so people end up feeling discouraged. And maybe every 2 years or 4 years, folks will hold their noses and go to the ballot box and vote for the lesser of two evils. But we don't have confidence that government is going to make a difference in our lives. At most, we hope that it does us no harm. And what I said to people in that first election, and what I still believe, and is the reason that I'm running for president, is that there has always been another tradition of politics in this country. It's a tradition that says we are all bound together as one people. It's a tradition that says that we have individual responsibilities to make something out of our lives, but we also have mutual responsibilities to each other. It's a tradition that says that, as I said in my 2004 convention speech, if there's a child somewhere who can't read, that affects me even if it's not my child. But if there's a senior citizen who's still struggling to get the prescription medicine, that has an impact on me even if it's not my grandparent. That some young person who is in Iraq, risking their lives, and maybe comes home without a leg, or without an arm,